Hello, everyone. It's Tracy Lewin.
And Peter Murray. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning, Peter. Today is the third, or rather, this session is the third in our series of Bitcoin education. So, what are we talking about today, Peter?
Well, today we're going to deviate a little bit and talk about something that's more relevant, time relevant, and it's called the Bitcoin halving. I've got a lot of people asking me, what is the Bitcoin halving, and what impact is going to have? Does it mean my Bitcoin is going to halve? I'm going to have less, and all kinds of questions.
Yes.
So I think that is what we're going to discuss today.
Excellent, excellent. So in terms of Bitcoin halving, it actually happens every single 4 years. So it's only happened once to date.
It's only happened once to date. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Bitcoin halving. What does it actually mean to us?
Well, it means that the amount, what it means in practical terms is that the amount of Bitcoin that are coming into the market is going to halve. The supply of Bitcoin is going to halve. So what it means is, at the moment, we are creating, every time a Bitcoin block is created, we are creating 25 Bitcoins. And that is going to halve now in somewhere in July. We think it's well, it's estimated to be the 9th of July. Am I right?
Correct.
It's going to halve to 12 and a half Bitcoins per block. And that is basically what it means. So
okay.
So over time, so in the next 4 years, we're going to have half the Bitcoin mined that was mined in the last 4 years. So we have a diminishing supply of Bitcoin until it's projected in 2140, May the 7th, 2140, that all Bitcoin would be mined and there would be no mining left. But from here on forward, the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin halves every few years, it means that it exponentially gets less, because the next halving, it goes down to 6.25 per block, then to 3, then to 1.5, and then to 0.078, and then 0.39. So very, very quickly, by the next halving, we had to have 93% of all Bitcoin mined. After this halving, we have 87% of all Bitcoin mined. So
yeah, that's incredible.
It is actually, most of the Bitcoin has been mined already. So it means that there's really a diminishing supply of Bitcoin in the market.
That's incredible. And what is the actual process of mining? Peter, you I'm sure will explain this better than I will.
Well, first of all, Bitcoin has a public ledger of past transactions, and this ledger is called a blockchain. And what it basically is, a chain of blocks, and the blockchain serves to confirm all the transactions to the rest of the network. And mining is the process of adding transaction records to the Bitcoin public ledger of past transactions, if I can explain it that way. It means that this is the process of actually, verifying and adding a transaction to the public ledger. And mining is designed, and intentionally so, to be very, very resource intensive and difficult, so that the number of blocks found each day by miners remains steady. And the mining is done by a concept called proof of work. A proof of work means there is a algorithm that creates what they call a hash difficulty, if I can put it in that way. And it's basically a mathematical problem that has to be solved by calculation. And once it is solved, proof of work takes place, and then a new transaction is added to the public record. And every time that happens, that process is called mining, and a Bitcoin is mined. And the main purpose of mining is to allow the Bitcoin nodes that are running on every single computer to reach a secure and tamper-proof consensus. So, and this is the mechanism by which Bitcoins are introduced in the system. And miners are paid transaction fees, as well as what they call a subsidy of newly created coins. So that's how they make their money.
Okay, great. I mean, actually, the interesting thing is that there are so many millions of computers all around the world that are actually mining Bitcoin.
Yes. I mean, there are millions and millions of computers doing this at the moment. And, there's different ways to mine. There are mining pools. There are people with big mining farms. And yeah, it's a huge business, mining.
Yes, it's actually and the other thing is though the whole what Satoshi Nakamoto put together is absolutely nothing short of brilliant.
I just want to explain something, Tracy. The process of mining means that a block is discovered after every calculation is made. It's called the discovery of a new Bitcoin block. And and currently, this reward is agreed upon by everyone in the network. And currently, this is for 25 Bitcoin, and this halves every 210,000 blocks.
Mm.
So that is why we have the halving. So currently, this will halve again by block 420,000. The first one was at 210,000, then 420,000, and then 630,000. And currently, this takes about 4 years to do this calculation. But this might change depending on the difficulty of the hashing algorithm, and also the hashing power that's provided into the network to actually solve these problems.
Yes, that's incredible. I mean, I know that right in the beginning, it was very simple to mine Bitcoin because you could just use it on your own computer. Then it started with graphic cards, and so it just gets more and more difficult as they go along. But and also as technology changes. So this is absolutely awesome, I have to say. So in terms of the coins, you did mention it earlier. The coins that are created at the moment are 25 per block, and it's going to be going down to 12.5 per block.
Yes, at the end of by the time this halving takes place, it means 15,750,000 bitcoins would have been mined, and that's 75% of the total bitcoins, which will end at 21 million.
21 million, and only ever 21 million will ever be created.
Yeah, that means there's another 5.25 million that needs to be mined. At the end of the next mining, or the next block, block 420,000, it means there will be 18 million bitcoins mined, or 87% of the total bitcoins would have been mined. So as you can see, it goes down quickly. And, so in another 8 years, we'll have 20 million bitcoins mined with less than 700,000 left.
Okay, so one question is really pretty important, and it's about the profitability of those miners. And now the miner is actually the computer that's running the algorithm. But how if the price doesn't go up, how would these miners be profitable?
Well, they have a problem if the price don't go up. The only way they can be profitable is by mining more efficiently, meaning you're getting cheaper computing power at a lower price. But at current prices and current computer power, actual prices need to go up for miners to be profitable. We saw in the news a few weeks ago, one of the big miners decided to liquidate their mine because they cannot make money at these prices.
Yes.
So that's why we also expect the Bitcoin price to keep rising as the halvings take place.
Correct. On to the next slide. So we mentioned when the next halving is. It is expected to be on the 9th of July. And by the way, Peter, I hear that there are some parties that are happening around the world.
Block parties.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Where did you hear that? I didn't hear that.
I think there's one happening in Barcelona.
Barcelona, maybe I should go there because I can do with some tapas and a nice rioja, and sitting on Barcelona beach is fantastic this time of year. Have you ever been there?
No, not to Barcelona. It's definitely on the bucket list.
Oh, it's a fantastic city. You've got to go see all the Gaudi architecture and stuff like that. It's an amazing city.
Maybe I should get there by Saturday.
Saturday, I now think I should be going.
You do that, Peter, and you can report back. But in terms of the effect on the price, what is actually going to happen? Because we've seen such a surge in prices of late, and it's such an exciting time to actually have Bitcoin.
You see, Bitcoin is a unique commodity in the fact that it's totally untested in terms of it's the only commodity really in the world that you have that cannot increase its supply. Supply is ever diminishing, but it's an economic truth that if supply goes down of anything and demand goes up, that prices have to go up over time. That doesn't mean that the Bitcoin price will go up the second the halving takes place, because markets are clever. People are anticipating this halving, so they might have taken positions in anticipation or whatever. But for me, if I look at the long-term prospects of Bitcoin, and that's how I look at it. I don't try to predict the prices on a short-term basis, because I think you will really drive yourself crazy by trying to do that and make money out of short-term price movement. The thing is to actually take a long-term view and say, look, we've got a commodity here with diminishing price, increasing demand. We've seen our demands increasing. We see our technology companies, banks, investment funds, everybody is looking at Bitcoin and seeing increased usage and consumer adoption, which means the price have to go up over time. And that's the way I look at it. So the halving is just the natural process of it becoming more and more difficult to get your hands on Bitcoin. And if there's an increase in demand, the price has to go up.
Absolutely. And, the thing is, we've, of late, we've had such a lot of political unsettling, and there's issues around stock markets crashing. We've got economies that are really, really struggling. So will global market factors have an effect on the price this year, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I mean, firstly, Bitcoin is denominated in other currencies, so either in dollars or in pounds or wherever you live. And if your currency weakens, the price of Bitcoin will go up. That's just natural. Even if say for instance, let's take an example, you're living in South Africa, even if the Bitcoin price in US dollars remains steady, but the price in the South African rand loses value, the Bitcoin price in South Africa will go up to reflect that difference between exchange rates between the South African rand and the US dollar. But also macroeconomic factors like political uncertainty, like Brexit, all kinds of things happening in China, and things happening in the economic world will definitely affect the Bitcoin price. And we see it in the news all the time and what those effects are. So, again, that's why I need to stress to people, if you want to know what's going on, just come and join us. A link to our Facebook page, come subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you are going to get a free Bitcoin education of what's going on. And actual fact is, I've just stumbled upon a chart here, a halving chart, that I'm going to add to our blog, where you can come and see exactly how Bitcoin is going to halve until the last coin is mined. Block number 6,930,000 will be the last block.
Incredible. So the Bitcoin halving is the 9th of July. So it's this Saturday for us, this coming Saturday. What do you think people should do to prepare for this event?
Well, I think what people should do is to prepare for the fact that these events are going to be recurring every few years, and they should be making Bitcoin part of their investment portfolio. If they just invest there, if you're an entrepreneur, you should consider starting a Bitcoin business, because I think this is the new economy and a lot of new opportunities coming out of it. But really, that's the best thing you can do, is to just get involved in the Bitcoin market and make a small investment and start using Bitcoin, because this is going to change our lives, specifically in anticipation of the halving. Like I said, I don't take a specific view on a specific event, because anything can happen, because like we all know that it's going to happen. So the price might go down after the halving, who knows? But for me, Bitcoin is still over the long term very cheaply priced. So any price to me at current levels are buy price You know, so my best advice is to just start, just get involved, get some Bitcoin, see how it works, and try to find ways of earning more Bitcoin.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, at the end of the day, you know, we really believe that Bitcoin is our future, and it's the future of future generations. So very exciting to even think about where this price will be in 20 years, you know, if you're taking that long view.
Well, the thing is, you know, if you're taking a 20-year view, can you imagine if Bitcoin really becomes a mainstream currency, it becomes part of our you know, investment portfolios and things like that. This price could be going really anywhere. It's hard
Mm.
to fathom. But, you know, I'll be happy if the Bitcoin price just keeps on doubling every year.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. I mean, you know what? I did some
Or even,
calculations.
Tracy, if you just look at it, if the supply halves every 4 years and the demand stays constant, the price should double every 4 years. And
Yes.
even if something grows by 25% a year, it's a magnificent investment.
Well, you talk about 25%, but I did some calculations last week. And what I found, in fact, I had to do those calculations a few times because I thought I was wrong. And what I found is that I'd actually did the pound, I did the dollar, the South African rand, and the Brazilian real. And the prices were, if somebody had actually just bought Bitcoin a year ago, in the UK, they would have seen a benefit of a return of 300 odd percent. The same for South Africa, a little bit more than 300, about 320%. The dollar was around about 275%, and it was sort of around, you know, just under 300% for the Brazilian real. So that is compared to the devaluation of that the currency, and as well comparing it to the increase in the Bitcoin price. So just really getting Bitcoin and holding on to it is a fantastic investment.
Yeah. What more can I say? That's
So
exactly the point we've been making for months.
Yeah. So Peter, now I'm just wondering now if any of our listeners have parties going on this Saturday, maybe they should tell us where their parties are and take some photographs and send them through to us.
That would be great, guys. You know, send us parties of your blockchain, your block parties, your blockchain parties, or your halving parties. So that would be nice. We will post them on your page if you
Yeah,
send them to us.
absolutely. Let's do that. So, you know what, Pete, the next time we chat, we'll chat about this again next week, I'm quite sure. And let's just see what happens at the halving, which is the 9th of July. But it's certainly an exciting event to look forward to. And if anybody wants to contact us, you know, you can always leave a comment below. You can contact us on Facebook, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and actually comment under this video. So thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we would be very, very happy to hear from you. And thank you, Tracy.
Thank you very much.